And welcome to another episode of the Second Opinion Loan Officer podcast. I am continuing my rabbit hole into Chat GPT and these AI natural language models, and how they can help us not only differentiate ourselves, but help us create. Really amplify our content, create better content, get more content out there. Take one piece of content, multi-purpose it, break it up into little pieces, use it for Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Google My Business, Facebook, all of these things. So this is a very, very new technology, and you're not always going to necessarily be talking about this technology in the context that I'm going to talk about it today. But I think it's important to understand this part of how to use this technology. And primarily we're using Chat GPT. So Chat GPT is not the only version of AI out there, but it's a chat bot that allows you to submit an inquiry, which they call a prompt, is to submit a prompt, and then the AI engine will go out to all the information it can find, compile that information, observe that information, and then give that information back to you in the way that you asked it to give it to you. Now that sounds a little crazy, a little confusing, but I promise you I'm gonna unpack this. I'm gonna make this make a lot more sense. So today what we're talking about is advanced prompt engineering for better results. And I've talked to a lot of people that are like, yeah, I used Chat GPT for that and it sucked. It didn't work. And I've heard that a couple of times. And believe me, I've said it a bunch of times before I learned how to use it. Now that I'm learning how to use it, I can't say that. If I'm not getting the result that I'm looking for, it's usually because I didn't ask the question the right way. I didn't engineer the prompt the right way. So we're going to bang through this. Now, this is kind of an extension from last week. So we're going to use the same video. We're actually using the same prompt. I just didn't show you this part of the prompt last week. So if you watch the episode last Tuesday, I believe it was how to repurpose content. I think we pulled about a dozen pieces of content out of one video that I did for consumers about how to calculate child support and alimony using a Fannie Mae guideline loan. So if you can go back and look, and I recommend you do go back and watch that episode if you haven't already watched it or listened to that episode. I say listen to. This is a podcast. There is an audio version, but almost everything that I'm doing here is visual. So hopefully you're watching this on Spotify or YouTube, and you're able to see these slides and actually see everything that I'm talking about. So let's dive right into this. So actually, I'm not important. Let's look at the slides. So actually, you know what we're also going to do? See, watch this. If you guys want to use StreamYard, you can switch your brand in the middle like I just did because I was using my wrong brand, which is absolutely no big deal. I love it. So today's experiment is we're going to talk about what prompt engineering is. We're going to talk about engineering an expert avatar, and that'll make a lot more sense once we dive into this. Now, another reason why I think people are having a lot of challenges out there is because they might not be paying for a premium Chat GPT, and they may be using 3.5 instead of 4. The advancements to GPT-4 over 3.5 are just astronomical. And I'm actually going to show you a side-by-side because I accidentally, last week when I was putting together the other video, when I was talking about the repurposing the content, it wasn't giving me the results that I expected. And I put some effort into it, and I was expecting a certain result, and it was not what I expected. And then I noticed it was 3.5. So I'm going to show you, I basically took the exact same prompt and I copied and pasted it from 3.5 to 4, and I'm going to show you the difference. And then I'm going to talk to you about what you can do to become a student of this stuff and what the next steps are. So, what is prompt engineering? Um, a prompt in AI is a way for you to teach the AI how to respond. So it's basically you're telling it who it is, what it is, how you want it to respond. So I'm going to provide this question, and I want you to answer me in this context, and I'll unpack that and explain that. Um, the single most important output factor. So the single most important factor in what comes out of ChatGPT is the prompt that you put into it. Again, I'm at the point now where if I don't get the results, if I don't get something like I was expecting, which means my mind is blown, then I think then it's my problem. It's probably my prompt. So I go back and I tweak my prompt and I play with my prompt, and then I always end up getting the results that I want. Um, what is prompt engineering? Well, prompt engineering is a new industry, and I'm seeing jobs for prompt engineers between $175,000 and $330,000 a year that require almost no coding, maybe a little bit of basic Python, but other than that, almost no experience. It's logic, it's reasoning, and it's a whole different industry that's popped up, and it's a really, really important industry. I challenge you to Google prompt engineer jobs right now on Google and see what they're paying. The very fact that they're paying that kind of money to attract the right kind of people to start writing these things, first of all, we've got to be grateful, because these AI engines are going to learn the way that these prompt engineers teach them how to respond and how to interact with us. So, yes, we have the ability to do that ourselves on a small scale, but on some of these larger language models and these proprietary language models, this is going to be one of the most important positions in the IT department, or in their marketing and sales and productivity and all that kind of stuff. So, um, so let's talk about engineering your avatar. The avatar, think of the avatar as, when we say avatar in marketing, we're usually talking about our buyer persona, right? So identify your buyer persona. We call that an avatar. Who are they? What's their age, their sex? What are their buying habits? These kinds of things. Well, we're doing something similar with this. But the interesting thing about this is you're conducting this the opposite of a job interview. So think of ChatGPT as a professional in a field that you want advice from. Okay. And that's how you approach this. So, this is the opposite of a job interview. On a job interview, you have the applicant in front of you and you are asking them questions. What's your experience? How long have you been in the industry? Show me some samples of your work. This is completely the opposite. You're sitting in front of an AI, a large language model, and you are saying, you are this expert. You have this much experience. And as this person, how would you do this job? And then you're asking them to show you how to do the job. And so, like, if you can wrap your head around that, that the first thing that you're doing. So what I see a lot of people doing, and what I did in the very beginning, is I used ChatGPT like a search engine. So I would ask it a question, or I would type in something and say, it's just a single line prompt, and it would return the answer to me. But when I start figuring out that you can engineer your avatar first, and then you're only communicating with that avatar, things got really interesting. So let's look at this experiment. So this is the same video we used last week. This was, I think it was a 9.5 minute video about about how to qualify for a Fannie Mae loan if you have alimony or child support. What we did is we took the transcript from this video. So this is actually a really, really good pro tip. Um, and I would say that if I did any post editing here, I'd put a big pro tip flash on the screen here. But almost all of this can be done from the transcript. So once you do the video, you can take the transcript of the video, and that's going to give a lot of information to the expert, because you're basically telling the expert here, take this transcript, take everything that I talked about in this video, and then produce this output for me as the professional that you are. So if you remember last week, the first thing that I showed you was the first prompt job is I put in this transcript, right? I put the transcript into Chat GPT and I asked it, let's start by giving me 5 Facebook post ideas that are serious but playful, include emojis. Now, the serious but playful, this is alimony and child support. A divorce happened. There's kids involved. It's not a super lighthearted topic, but I wanted to be a little bit playful with it. So that's what I told it to do. So this is what I didn't show you last week. So last week, I only showed you this and then I showed you the results. But here's how I engineered the prompt in order to get the results. So the first thing that I did is I said, you have over 10 years experience as a multimedia specialist, content marketer, and SEO optimized copywriter. You specialize in taking a single piece of content and amplifying the reach by repurposing it into social media posts, blog posts, and other short summaries meant to drive traffic back to your website. Do you understand? Please write in plain English. Here's what ChatGPT told me. Yes, I understand. As a highly experienced multimedia specialist, content marketer, and SEO optimized copywriter, I am skilled in repurposing a single piece of content to maximize its reach and engagement across various platforms. I didn't use those words exactly, so that's kind of cool. By creating social media posts, blog posts, and short summaries, I can effectively drive traffic back to your website. Please feel free to provide me any specific information or content you would like me to work with. I'd be happy to help. So, like, that's weird, right? That's not a computer. that is you sitting across the desk from this professional, and even though the natural conversation would be really weird. You are a this, you are a that. I'm reading their resume to them. How crazy is that response? So remember, the most important thing with these AI large language models, and specifically with ChatGPT, is it remembers your entire conversation. So it's always able to draw from the instructions and the directions that you've given it in the past in order to formulate the output moving forward if it's relevant. So again, I'm building up my avatar. I'm creating the person that I want to create content for me. So he understands. It understands. Okay, so your homework, fantastic. This is me. You can see my little picture there. Your first job is to read and understand the source text. Okay, this is the transcript for a YouTube video that I already published. You are going to use this as a source material for other projects. Acknowledge when you finished reading by saying, I understand. Here's the text. And then I pasted that transcript that I showed you a couple of slides earlier. And here's what ChatGPT said. I understand. I have read the provided transcript, which discusses the challenges of qualifying for a home loan while receiving alimony or child support during a divorce. Okay. I think it was after a divorce, but that's okay. The video covers Fannie Mae conventional guidelines, documentation requirements, and how to calculate the debt to income ratio. The speaker emphasizes the importance of working with an experienced mortgage professional to explore all available options, and provides information how to contact mortgage experts through their platform, Find My Way Home. So that is exactly what I do. I am producing content for consumers. I am driving them back to findmywayhome.com, which is a directory of mortgage professionals across the country that are also creating content. Well, we're helping them create content. So that is precisely what my goal was with that video and with that transcript. So now I'm giving it its first job prompt. So remember, I told it who it is, what its experience is, and then I gave it its source materials. And I said, now that you are this person, take this content and I want you to deliver these results for me. And so this stuff, you saw some of this last week, but not all of this. So, and this is kind of interesting, and it'll go right into our next section. So let's start. This was our prompt last week. So after that, I said, okay, great. Let's start by giving me 5 Facebook post ideas that are serious but playful. Okay. And it gave us 5 really amazing Facebook posts. Like, this is 5 days worth of Facebook or Instagram or wherever you want to post it. That it did a really good job. So now, keeping this in mind, and I don't know if you can actually read this, but these are really, really good. If you're watching this, I'm not going to read all of these, but basically it has emojis. The hooks are really, really good. Navigating a divorce and need a mortgage, that's one hook. Alimony and child support got you confused about home loans, that's a great hook. Tired of mortgage jargon, we got your back. Dive into the latest video for a clear guide on Fannie Mae loans, alimony, and child support. And then it has a place for the link, and then it has the hashtags for you. So these are good. Like, I am not disappointed with this. Yes, I would probably go through there and I would change them a little bit. But right now, my rule is ChatGPT is producing output that's about 90% accurate. And I need to go in there and fix things up, change things up about 10%. But it has cut my time to produce content and to repurpose content. It has cut that time down to almost nothing. I say nothing. It's an hour instead of 4 hours. That's a huge difference when you're talking about repurposing content. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So the exact conversation that I showed you, that was Chat GPT-4. The first time I tried this, I didn't get the results that I was expecting. And I realized that it was 3.5. So what I ended up doing is I took the exact same questions and I copied them from the 3.5 where I didn't get the results I wanted, and I pasted it into 4, which is the results that I just showed you. So let's take a look at what the difference is on this. So the prompt engineer the prompt was exactly the same. 10 years experience, multimedia specialist. Do you understand? So 3.5 responds to me. Yes, I understand. I have over 10 years of experience. My specialty is taking a single piece of content, repurposing it into various forms, such as social media posts, driving it back to the website. In other words, I know how to maximize the reach of a single piece of content by using it in different ways across different platforms. That's not bad. That's a completely different response than I got from 4, but that didn't raise any red flags for me. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, this prompt worked well because I asked it to tell me who it is, and it told me who it is, and that's who I wanted it to be. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So your homework, this is the exact same prompt that I just showed you. Your first job is to read and understand the source text. Acknowledge it by saying, I understand. And here was ChatGPT's response, 3.5's response. I understand. Interesting, because this was 4's response. I understand. I have read the provided script. Here's what the script says. Here's the gist of the script. Here's what the speaker means. Here's their call to action. I get what this person is trying to do. So I understand. And then 4. So I understand was the first red flag. And because again, I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of homework on this, and I've seen how prompts are engineered and how they're layered and how ChatGPT will interact with you, how 4 will interact with you. So I saw that and I'm like, it's a little bit of a red flag. Um, but then I went along and I said, okay, great. Let's start by giving me 5 Facebook post ideas that are serious but playful. Um, and I showed you what ChatGPT-4 was, right? So that was, getting the divorce. But here is 3.5s. So 3.5 came out, and it says stuff like, it's important to take your finances seriously, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a little fun. Okay, that had nothing to do with my video. Who says adulting can't be fun? Join our webinar on budgeting for families and learn how to make financial planning a team effort. Yeah, this has nothing to do with the script that I gave it. This has nothing to do with what I told it. Um, it has nothing to do with anything. So I basically got mad at it and I said, bad answer, try again. Um, and I said, this answer does not reference the text I provided. Use this transcript as the source for creating all other content. Here is the transcript. And I pasted the transcript a second time into 3.5. And then it gave me a little bit better results. I would probably use 2 or 3 of these posts. The hooks are better. The focus is actually even a little bit better. But man, oh man, that difference between being between between 4 right out of the gate and 4 giving you a response like this. And so I guess this is what I want you to take away from this as you start building your prompts. Um, you want to ask it if it understands. That way, ChatGPT-4 is going to tell you what it thinks you want it to do. And that's really cool and that's really important. And that's something that's new in GPT-4, which makes it really, really fascinating and really interesting. Okay, so if I've piqued your interest here, 2 things. Definitely go back and look at the other video. If you have video, I show you how to take that video that I demonstrate the prompt engineering on. I took that video and created a dozen pieces of unique content across all social media platforms, most social media platforms. So you might want to go back and look at that. If I piqued your interest at all, start to become a student. Definitely follow me if you're in the mortgage or the real estate space. This stuff transcends any industry. But if you're in the mortgage industry, like I'm in the mortgage and real estate industry, I have years and years of experience. It's a lot easier. One of the things with GPT that you need to understand is you run into danger if you start using it for things that you know nothing about. So because I have a lot of experience, over 20 years experience in the mortgage and real estate space, yeah, much more. I can't believe I'm that old. I can tell if it's giving me good information. I can tell if it's feeding me good information. Where you run into trouble is if you try to get it to create content that you have no clue on whether it's accurate or not. So become a student of this stuff. I ran across this guy. What is his name? H-Educate on YouTube. I will put a link in the details for his courses. He has 3 free courses. Actually, he has a lot of different courses, and they're really good. I learned a lot. This particular gentleman is somewhere in the Middle East, maybe. He's definitely not in the United States. He doesn't seem like he's in the United States. But what he's doing on his YouTube channel is he's teaching people how to be prompt engineers and how to get a good job and how to help support their family and contribute to their community. Like he's trying to raise up people by teaching them that this is a job opportunity for good critical thinkers that can think logically. I also ran across a Udemy prompt engineering course for 15 bucks. It's like, it's got 34 ratings, 4.5 stars, 4.5 stars, 243 people have bought it. Again, you guys, all of this stuff has been released this month, or last month in March. This stuff is moving really fast, and the stuff that I'm showing you and these things that are coming out, these are only a couple of months old. So these are also people that are just figuring this out, and they're good people to bring along with you on your journey to try to figure all this stuff out. Now, that's all I've got for you for that. Please keep following me if you're interested in this stuff. I'm doing some pretty high level stuff. I'm also doing some pretty specific things. If you have any specific questions about using this, feel free to reach out to me. My Calendly link is below. When I describe this, and one of the reasons why I do this is I'm teaching the members of the Find My Way Home Expert Network how to take their content and do this. So what we do is we help you create content. Not only do we help you create content, we put you on our website, which is, well, now we're up to almost 30,000 unique visitors a month, looking for somebody to give them a second opinion about qualifying for a mortgage. So we're going to introduce those people to you while we're helping you create content for the future, so that you're future-proofing your pipeline by having a huge, casting a big net of educating and empowering consumers out there. So if you have any questions, all my contact information is in the description or details below wherever you're seeing this. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment in the comment section as well. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I would love to go on this journey with you if this is something that you're interested in. The water's nice. Come on in. So that's it for this time. We will see you next time. Have a great one.